Hi, I'm going to be stepping through the basic features of the new proSession tool from EraserMice and Isotonic Studios. Okay, first off, if you're familiar with some of the older devices that I used to have, the session viewer and the mixer viewer and the device viewer, the best features of all those are now combined into the proSession tool and its sort of suite of tools here. So these are the new, the replacements of those legacy tools, first off. Okay, so the main device that we're going to talk about is the proSession itself. The proSession device looks an awful lot like Session View. That's because it's supposed to. It allows you to use Session View side by side in Arrangement View, all within a single window. This is really designed specifically for people who have single monitor setups or are using laptops. You notice the resolution I'm recording at is actually 1600 by 900 because I'm showing what it might look like on a smaller laptop display, that sort of thing. Okay. So you get all the things you normally would imagine. You know, you click on the launch buttons and you can do that sort of thing. I can launch a clip, say. Okay, but you notice immediately I have lots of added features in there, like my little metering right next to the clip here. Okay, so a lot of what this is about is basically giving you immediate access to features and immediate access without changing windows, without going to different views and different devices and needing a bigger display. It's all right there embedded in the display, in the session. Okay, so that's the first thing you notice that's different, the little meters on there. But then as you start to click on things, when you click on the name of a device or you click on the name of a track or a clip, either you might launch it, but in the case of the track headers, you'll see when you click, you get a little pop-up overlay that shows you the track volume, the track panning, the A send level, and the B send level. So I can immediately click on them and adjust them just like I would in mixer view. So this makes for a really powerful single-click editing and things. Okay, so say I want to start this clip and edit it right there. Okay, so that's one quick example of what you can do. Now, if you don't want to launch the clip, but you just want to edit things, I guess I had another clip playing. Immediately knew what track it was on because I could see the meter. Okay, so if you click on the track header, you don't launch any clips. But if you click on the clip name, you launch the clip, and then you immediately get your continuous control. Now, if I hold down the Shift key and click, I get the first either 2 or 4 parameters for the first device on the track. Okay. If I hold down the Control key, I'm going to get the second 2 plus 2. If I hold down the Option key, I get the third 2 plus 2, and the fourth 2 plus 2. Now, I say that plus 2 is because I can either be in split 2 mode or split 4 mode. Basically, if there's enough size, enough space in the track name area, it'll show 4 parameters. If there's not, it'll show 2, right? So if you crunch these down, for instance, and I click, you'll see I just get 2 up mode, okay? And we do that 2 plus 2 and 2 plus 4, sort of thing, so that it's consistent. No matter if you're in 2 mode or 4 mode, you always know exactly what parameters you're getting. Okay, so one thing you'll notice, this is kind of a real great feature, is that it's really, really easy to kind of zoom in and out with this view. Okay, and you get all your meters, and you can kind of see exactly what's going on. Okay, so if you have a track, or if you have a session, a live session that has lots and lots of tracks in it, up to say 32 tracks, actually you can even see more than that. You get 32 tracks of metering, plus you'll be able to see all of the clips in your view, subject to how many pixels you have on the screen, I suppose. But it's really great because you can keep, kind of zoom in with that device. So it's even handy to have it next to the normal session view, so you can read all your clip names up here for a bunch of clips you might be looking at. But then use the proSession down here as an overall monitoring tool, kind of a heads-up display of your map view in video games, right? That sort of thing. Okay, so let's go back here and zoom back out again, and you can also actually scrunch the device in and out to say how many clips you want to see, that sort of thing. I usually do 8 by 8, and the reason for that being is I have a launch pad here, so I can scroll around in my launch pad and up and down. And you'll notice right now that the window is actually scrolling with the launch pad, and that's because I'm using this surface lock mode over here. Okay, you can lock to any one of up to 6. So if you had 6 devices, you could choose which one, or if you put it at minus, that it means unlocked, and the scroll is just going to kind of scroll around like it would normally in the Ableton session view. So I like to keep it in lock mode. This way I know exactly what 8x8 clip grid is kind of on my launch pad at any time. This way I don't have to like fumble around and look around and kind of squint at the display and all that. It's much more obvious to me. Okay, so let's see. Over here you'll see split mode. Okay, that's the split indicator. We're in split mode. If I click that, I'm going to switch myself into XY mode, right? And now instead of getting the 2 faders, I get an XY controller. And you'll see as I move up and down, I'm controlling the volume of the track and left and right. And you notice up on the over there on the left-hand side, that is what we call the HUD, or the heads-up device display, and that's showing me exactly what I'm changing at any particular time. Okay, so I can click on that. Say I hold down the Shift key, and I get 2 of the parameters of my my compressor there, right? So I have like instant chaos pad mode, or kind of like change things around, and you'll see in there the different colors mean what the default values are. So it kind of advertises the default values, where volume, unity, gain, and the center is, and also the red indicates what it was last set at when you kind of entered the view. So it's a really easy way to, like, if you tweak something but you decide you want to go back to where it was, you can use that to get there. Okay. So we have XY mode, we've scrunched in and out. Let's see, back to arrangement, just like you'd think, you get back to the arrangement mode. So if you're, overdubbing, you're doing clip launching, that sort of thing, you can go right back and forth, just like clicking the normal back to arrangement buttons in Ableton. So that kind of covers things for the basics. Now you'll notice as I'm clicking around here, my heads-up display over on the left there is immediately changing to show me exactly what track or exactly what parameters are on the track that I'm working on. You'll also see these little green indicators. That also shows you the default value for that device, for that parameter. So you can immediately kind of see, okay, what is recommended and what do I have it set for. So this is a really cool way to kind of like surf around and explore sessions, especially if you get like an artist pack or something like that. You want to see how they did things. Now the HUD allows you to choose. You can choose really any track and any device, and you can even bank up and bank down to get at all the different parameters. So you're not just limited to the first 8 and the first device. And the cool thing is, say we came over to our perk track over here, for instance, and I said, okay, I'm more interested in the EQ3 and the I'm interested more in the EQ3 for that. Okay, so it knows I was on perk. I said EQ3. I'm going to say set. So now next time if I click on bass and then I click on perk again, I'm going to get immediately back to the EQ3. So it remembers my preferences, which is kind of really great. So especially as you're tweaking things around, you can kind of quickly get to what you want to do. And you have, of course, full control of all the different parameters and things over here. So the heads-up display devices, they can be used entirely independently even of the proSession, and they offer you the same type of parameters that you saw in the in the faders, the volume, pan left and right, send A and B, and then all of your different device parameters here. Now the sync button and the remote button, there's another device which I will grab. I'm gonna have to put it on its own MIDI track. That's the one. What this is called is the, I have to go and find it now. Too many devices for my own good. It's called the proSession HUD Remote. Okay, so we will create a new MIDI track over here with it on. Okay, now the HUD Remote allows us to remote control the heads-up display. Now by default here, I'm going to say, let's see, I'll link this particular one to the other one that we're at. Okay, so I come over here and I'm going to say 1 and 1. Okay, now if I go to this device, you'll see I already have, I've got a MIDI map, and I also have an OSC map, and I also have all of the panel dials that you expect in a typical live device. So if I come over here and I happen to use, automatically, kind of mapped to my parameters, just like I'd be on a normal live device, but then I can also do things like, say I come over here and I'll go into session mode just for a second because I find it easy to deal with, and I'm going to use ins from my remote SL, and I'm going to put that in mode. So I see MIDI on there. So now that will become the heads-up for that particular. So if I go to master here, you'll now see, and I just have things kind of mapped by default, but I can then MIDI map those parameters as well. And this is useful. It's different than the normal MIDI mapping stuff in Ableton because it bypasses all of the undo buffer issues and all the kind of the automation issues. So you can kind of get it really, really clean and tight. And you kind of like dedicate a controller to it. And it comes in real handy. It's definitely a little different because, you know, since everything is constantly moving around and changing what track you're on, what device you're on, we kind of came up with our own dedicated MIDI mapping for that. And the way you actually assign things is still, it feels a lot similar to the way you normally do it. Like, you know, you click on one, it'll go into waiting mode, and then I'll turn the knob and it'll automatically set to that. And you can even type in messages. Like, so say I wanted that one also to be controller 9. Okay, so now let's see, what did I screw up? Controller 9, controller 10. I probably mistyped something. Oh, I can't see. Don't get confused like me. If I come over here, you'll see the values changing. I'm not going to see the values changing on the other one because that's just an image. I've been spending too much time around here. Okay. So you could click on this and say, I want to change that to, say 68, I think, which is one of the parameters on my my pad over here. So if I come back to master, yep, you'll see my XY pad over there is changing things. So yeah, you have the ability to do that. You also get, I'll go back and make that one again. You also get OSC mapping, and this is similar to the Oscular tools. You can click on one and receive an OSC message from something else, or you can type in your OSC messages. You can set what addresses, what ports, and you can also put OSC output. So if you're using something like Touch OSC, you can send messages back to your device to show on your device exactly what your track settings are and that sort of thing. And we have a little Touch OSC template for our iPhone 5 and up, and you can easily use that as a template to create your own Touch OSC devices and kind of have things interact with that. So that's the basics of this. In some of the other videos, you'll see, some of the interesting uses, when you're, using lots and lots of devices, using lots and lots of tracks, different ways to improvise session launches into arrangement view and vice versa, and really kind of take advantage of this workflow that is, everything is sort of laid out, in a single window, everything very immediately, very nice and clean, especially for your laptop producers out there, your single monitor guys, people on the road. It solves all of the things that, actually a lot of things that were pointed out in some of the Bitwig reviews and features, some of the differences between Bitwig and Ableton, we kind of learned a little bit from them, we'll just say, or they learned a little bit from us, who knows. Okay, so that's the basics. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy using the proSession HUD, and the remote. Until next time, this is Eric for EraserMice and Isotonic Studios. Take care. Bye.